Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man giving you the truth. The channel is the No Matrix. No simping. All subjects channel. And I offend a lot of people in this channel. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to take the things which the Most High reveals to me, which are, sometimes you'll see me telling jokes and doing this, doing that. But on a lot of subjects, I basically share the wisdom that I receive, basically. And on this one, I will do it again. This is why I changed the name to this channel to the No Matrix. The Matrix is the system of doing things in which has people trapped. It has people trapped. And on this one, No Matrix series part 1, we're talking a little bit about slavery, what it is, and how some aspects of the slavery narrative that we hear about are myths, and how some aspects of slavery still exist today. We're going to talk a little bit about it. Here's the thing with the New Testament, that you have to be careful. You have to be very careful. There is some parallels to ancient Egyptology. For those of you who are trying to say, oh man, the Egyptians, we can't listen to them. Christianity is the way, the truth. Yep. I'm going to get into that in the next part of this Matrix series about religion. But I want to stick to the subject of slavery on this one. Now, hold on, let's see. Okay, so slavery, the word slave in many cultures has a meaning that you never would guess. It says someone who not only does not control his or her own destiny, but does not think for themselves. See, just like the devil, greatest deception is to try to get people to believe that neither her or God, heaven or hell truly exists. The slavery story, they want you to believe that it was just blacks. So they get the pro-blacks, with the locks and that. Oh, the white man is the enemy, struggle this, struggle that. They get them, but then they also get the whites who think they're superior, this, that, and the other. So the story is like a revolving wheel. It's like it's a myth that was basically created to keep people from thinking for themselves, kind of like religion, kind of like politics, kind of like the stuff with race, kind of like everything else. It's meant to get you not to think for yourself. Kind of like that's why they censor people like me. That's why they censor people like me, is because I always promote thinking for yourself. Do you understand that in the Garden of Eden, that the Most High gave Adam the ability to make his own decisions, to name things, to do things? He was free. He ate from the one thing that the Most High gave him the full ability to choose righteously. But he chose slavery. He listened to his wife, who was there to help him have dominion and help him work and help him tend the land. That wasn't good enough for her. She wanted to talk to all these little people with gold on and stuff, gold garments and stuff like that. And so it enslaved the whole civilizations of times, all the civilizations. Because like I said, even if you look at the Jewish theology of the word slavery, it's the same thing they say basically when you don't think for yourself. So you ever notice how in our world, the people who think for themselves usually get the furthest financially, spiritually? The people who think for themselves, the people who know that you have to own You have to produce. You have to buy and sell. You have to know how to sell. You don't trade time for money. The people who know this get the riches. And it don't matter what color they are. That's slavery makes you believe that certain people can't get rich. But reality shows you that anybody could get rich. You see people coming from all over the world, all different cultures, all different walks of life, becoming wealthy here in the United States. So, and the word slavery comes from in the Hebrew is the word ebed. In the Greek is the word doulos. Both meaning things such as, it had different meanings. Servant, worker. So, in the United States, we basically taught that these little guys went all the way across the world and brought all these 7 feet, these muscle-bound Africans back over here and forced them to work. And hey, I was guilty too. Because, you got to get free of the matrix. The fact is, that's impossible. If 20 people can't even get in the elevator has capacity weights. It'll say something like capacity 1,200 pounds. What makes you believe that they can take a mere boat, travel all the way across all different types of weather, with all of this cargo in the bottom, and the boat not capsize? Come on, man. Think real hard. Oh, well, you see, you a COON. Yeah, listen, you can have you can keep getting your food stamp. You can keep thinking certain people is the enemy. You can do whatever you want, man. It's a free country. I believe in free thought. You're just not going to influence me to believe foolishness and myths. They said basically already that Harriet Tubman, they can't find no definite documentation that this person, Harriet Tubman, ever even existed. Same thing with Sojourner Truth and many others. It's just basically, it reminded me of the Wizard of Oz. Remember how at the Wizard of Oz, they had this whole plan to follow the yellow brick road and all the stuff that they wanted to accomplish. And when they got to the end, they saw the little dude back there like this. And he gave them stuff with no value. That's what's happening to people today. They trying to follow the yellow brick road that leads to nowhere. Instead of enjoying their life, instead of thinking for themselves, they follow the yellow brick road. Well, you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. Come on, man. This story it kind of always had like loopholes in it and like little leaks. But then when I started doing research as I got older, it really started to leak. What if this whole thing about slavery was intended to get you to seek less for your work? And people still doing it. They're trading time for money. And what do you get? A shack. Barely getting the necessities of life. And they make the people divide and conquer, whether it be religion or politics or gangs or now the poked people and unpoked people. It's always some new way to keep the people who don't think for themselves divided. It's always, and that's how it still exists. You got jobs that only pay $9 an hour, but you're working for somebody who has $9 million because of you. he basically making hundreds of thousands off of you, everything you doing, and you only making peanuts. That's the definition of slavery. That's why it says, live as free people, but do not use your freedom as a cover up for evil. Live as God's slaves. Now, again, in the New Testament, there's many contradictions when it comes to slavery. And I'm going to read one of them, then I'm going to close. I'm going to read one of them, then I'm going to close. Let me see something. Okay. Ephesians 6, verse 5 through 8 states that slaves, be obedient to your human masters with fear and trembling, in sincerity of heart as to Christ, which is Paul instructing slaves to obey their master, basically. Now, even if you go to 1 Timothy chapter 1, he lists slave traders among those that the law is wrote for. That the law is wrote for slave traders, for sexually immoral. He lists all these people that the law is wrote for. See, that's why you have to think for yourself. See, look at every aspect of our country. It's always the person who does the thinking for the others is the richest. Think about that now. Think about that now. Think about that. We're going to come back to this subject. I want to get into the next part of this No Matrix series. But again, slavery is always viewed as, and this is why other countries come over here, people from other countries come over here and get rich, because they know that basically is people who do not control their own destiny nor think for themselves. So that means this: if you relying on government welfare to make it, you're not controlling your own destiny. You're supposed to be going out there. Always remember, the whole system always been like this, even going back to Adam. You dominate, you hunt, you conquer. We're created by a conquering God. He created us. We're supposed to be conquering. If you're not conquering, you're a slave. The only people who don't conquer are slaves. They get conquered. So it says, again, in other cultures and languages, slavery is the ones that are slaves are those who do not control their own destiny nor think for themselves. You watching the news. Oh, the economy is bad. But then you see all these guys getting richer, 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 richer. And some of them even live not too far from you. Like here in this area, I used to work at Domino's some years back. The guys that owned the Domino's I worked for, they had 5 stores, right? Right? Now they own every store in this area. And all the while people been saying, the economy is bad. Oh, it's bleak. Oh, there's no jobs. Blah, 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 blah. Cap it. Cap it. Because if it's no jobs, but it's still such thing as money, then you create your own. You sit back instead of looking for somebody to validate you through SEX or some other way. You should be sitting back trying to figure out what your next move going to be to get this wealth that's still out here. Because if you're not, you're a slave. You're a slave. And we already know the narrative to that. You get little, massa gets a lot. Thanks for watching. Just the truth, man. This is the No Matrix series. And this is also the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Like I told y'all previous, we call it No Simping. No simping. Stop trying to validate these women. Stop listening to them talk. Stop arguing with them. I know it's hard not to argue with them, but stop arguing with them. You arguing with women who basically, they think they know everything, but all it takes is one of these little Pookies or Ray Rays or even one of these Sometimes the one that looked like he got it all together will be the one that will put his tools down your know-it-all girlfriend's throat. And she come to you, I'm sorry. You're like, no, ain't no sorry. Ain't no sorry. Remember all that stuff you was talking? All this time, all that fighting you was doing? Bye. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel.